Welcome to your Saturday edition of Wasatch Weekends. I'm your host, Maddie Evans, and we've got a great show in store for you. I cannot believe we are already 11 days into February. Now, if you've not made your way over to Park City Film, then we highly recommend that you do so because the film that they're showing is amazing. And they've got a couple more showings throughout the course of the weekend, so you can go to parkcityfilm.org for more information. And don't forget to check out the Winterfest over at the library. Now, if you're looking for something great for those kiddos to get out there and participate in, Thrive is launching Live Like Sam, and this is a great way for your kids to get a lot of education on things like mental well-being, emotional resiliency, confidence, and healthy life skills. This program is currently being fully funded, and it's free for students for a limited time. Additionally, students who complete a minimum of 5 out of the 6-week sessions will receive an $80 stipend. We encourage 6th through 8th graders in junior high to go and 9th through 12th graders in high school to go. And you can sign up now. Sign up is going to be open until March 1st of 2023, and Summit and Wasatch County students are all included. Now, the spring session is going to kick off here soon on the week of March 12th, and it's going to run through the week of April 23rd with no sessions over spring break. So make sure that you check that out, because what a great program to give these kids the opportunity to really kind of focus on themselves. This is a skill that I wish I learned when I was this age. So if this is something you're interested in or your kids are interested in, definitely sign them up. Now, if you love chocolate and Valentine's Day is right around the corner, well then you should go experience the Chocolate Lovers Festival. This is going to take place where you can just enjoy a copious amount of chocolate at Solitude's 30th Annual Chocolate Lovers Festival. Start your day by grabbing a passport outside the Last Chance or Moonbeam Lodge. Visit all the chocolate stations to enjoy complimentary goodies, collect a stamp at each station, and be entered to win great prizes. Passports will be distributed at the stations, and they will be open from 9 a.m. to noon. The grand finale and prize drawings will take place at Last Chance Lodge at 1 p.m. So make sure that you make your way over there and you just enjoy all of this amazing chocolate. I don't know about you, but this sounds like my perfect Saturday morning. Now, if you're looking for something to do to be a part of the community and give some volunteer hours, well, you can go help clean out the bird box from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. over at the Songwriter Eco Center. There are over 55 bird boxes across the preserve, and we need your help to clean them out. So make sure that you make your way over there and you do that and you volunteer with the Songwriter Eco Center, just because they're such a great place here in our community. Now, if you're looking for something to shift it up a little bit and you want to go maybe enjoy some live music, well then you can check out the Park City scene, because there's always a lot of fun taking place, and there's going to be a laser light show and a DJ performing from 3 to 5 p.m. over in the Canyons Village. So make sure that you go check that out. The winter nights over there are absolutely breathtaking, and it's just a ton of fun to get out and experience all that Park City has to offer, and this is a great way to do so. We've got a great show in store for you. We're going to be chatting with the Utah Avalanche Center to give you more information on what the snowpack has been like this year and what we can expect into the future, so make sure that you stay tuned for that. Then I'm going to show you how to make a delicious treat, one of my favorite recipes, and it's super simple, Oreo truffles. So stay tuned for the next little bit of Wasatch Weekends. We're going to take a look at that local weather forecast, and then we'll be back with more of the show.
This resort report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
We've had an incredible snow year here in Utah, but as you're getting out there and maybe making your way into the backcountry, it's really important that you can stay safe. And a great way to do that is using the Utah Avalanche Center as a resource. And we've got Craig Gordon joining us. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me.
Hey, you bet, Maddie. Thanks for having me. And just like you said, just a remarkable winter. We have been blessed with not only amazing snowfall, but more importantly, really robust water numbers. So snow water equivalent. And what that does is that creates a nice, stable, uniform snowpack. It wasn't that way this whole winter, and we did have a couple of speed bumps along the way, but right now we are looking really good to go in the backcountry.
Now, if people are looking to get out in the backcountry, what are some things that they should just have as precautions as they're making their way out there?
Yeah, sure. So, the first thing that you should do before even considering heading into the backcountry is being armed with the latest avalanche forecast for the zone that you plan to travel in. And the Utah Avalanche Center is a statewide organization. We issue avalanche forecast each day, and you can find all that information at utahavalanchecenter.org. That's your one stop shop for all things avalanche, utahavalanchecenter.org. Next, you should have some basic avalanche awareness and education under your belt. So take one of our free Know Before You Go avalanche awareness presentations, but then build off of that theme. That's just an introductory. After that, I would suggest a Backcountry 101. Get your teeth into the snow, get your hands into the snow, and then you'll also need avalanche rescue gear. That means avalanche transceivers, shovels, and probes. But Maddie, the biggest tip I can give anybody is avalanche avoidance. So using all of those tools, going out with knowledgeable partners, and matching their terrain choices with what the backcountry avalanche danger is suggesting, that's going to be the big ticket item, and that's your success for longevity in the mountains.
Now, why should people not go experience the backcountry by themselves? It's really important that you always have someone there with you, and why is that?
Yeah, so our partner is really going to be our lifeline as far as if something goes sideways. With safe travel practices, we go one at a time. We keep an eye on our partner. We wait for them to clear off the slope, and then because humans are, have our own infallible tendencies. If we do make a mistake, then our partner's got eyes on us. They can help us out. And that's really our lifeline. But remember, we've got to choose experienced partners who are in the same mindset that we are, who are not opposed to pumping the brakes when things change. And remember, we can be out in the backcountry every day, Maddie. It's a matter of matching our terrain with what the avalanche hazard is suggesting the types of terrain to avoid for the day.
Now, if people are maybe just getting into it, like I just started getting out there with my AT setup, I like to go on very mellow grounds only because I like to take my dog with me. So if people are starting to get into it, where do you recommend that they start this kind of journey?
Yeah, for sure. And I'm stoked to hear that you're starting to get out and get after it. So, in the Park City area, of course, there's lots of opportunity. And just to get familiar with the gear, and hiking up and doing that kind of program, you can check in with a local resort. I know at PCMR, there is one run that is open so that you can get used to the gear and hike up and ski down before mountain operations start. Not every resort offers that, so definitely check with your local resort. And then secondly, getting a basic avalanche awareness class under your belt. The Know Before You Go program, which was created in the 2004 season, is a great introductory. It's kind of light on science. It's heavy on common speak, kind of 3-chord rock and roll instead of jazz. And we will get you dialed in so you'll know the kind of terrain that you will avoid, especially as avalanche danger gets elevated. And then you can simply use that as a cornerstone to your avalanche education, which quite frankly is a lifelong learning opportunity.
Which I think is so important. I know that I took one of the avalanche courses as a small child. They made us do it in middle school just because we grow up in resort towns and they think that that's important for you to know, which I also agree it's super important. And so as people are going through these courses and they do have this lifelong learning opportunity through you guys, then they can start to advance their kind of like journey into the backcountry. Now, what kind of equipment should they be looking into getting?
Of course, and I'm super stoked to hear that was part of what was your middle school learning opportunity, growing up in a mountain community and growing up in snow country. So yeah, you've got that under your belt, and then an avalanche transceiver, a shovel, a probe, maybe an airbag. But remember, Maddie, if we've got to use any of this rescue equipment, it means we've screwed up and the accident has already happened. Sort of like the airbag going off in the car, right? I mean, it's like we've slammed into something. and our day starts going sideways. Yes, we do need to have to know how to use all of this gear, and that is a perishable skill set. So we offer classes, 4-hour, half-day, or evening classes with rescue fundamentals. So we will teach you how to use this rescue gear, and then taking a know before you go class, an advanced rescue class, and then getting settled into a backcountry 101. That is going to set the stage for a great successful mission and getting to use all of this amazing opportunity of our backcountry that surrounds us, getting to implement the greatest snow on earth and doing it successfully. Most importantly, Maddie, not only enjoying this remarkable mountain environment that we have, but coming home at the end of the day safely to our families. That is the ticket.
Now, why is it so critical that people do have the experience and the knowledge as they're making their way into the backcountry? Because how quickly can things turn back there?
Oh man, things can go sideways in a heartbeat, but oftentimes, a lot of the clues to unstable snow are very relevant. Natural avalanching, of course, is going to be the biggest clue. Shooting cracks out in front of your skis, your snowboard, your snowshoes, your snowmobile. Remember, all of these things are offered to you each day at utahavalanchecenter.org. Just click on the zone that you want to recreate in. We do all the work for you. We deliver that in a very easy to digest, very distilled fashion. We're going to point you into the right direction. And like I said, Maddie, you can get out there nearly every day. And here's the deal. When it's stomping and when it's snowing and blowing like we saw late last year into early this season, the late December, early January storm cycles, well, then we get to parlay the hard work of the women and the men of the ski patrol. We can enjoy the greatest snow on earth at some of our world-class ski resorts where avalanche mitigation is being performed long before we even roll into the parking lot.
Craig, thank you so much for taking the time, giving us all this great information, and thanks for all the hard work you do to keep everyone safe around you.
And thank you. We'll look forward to connecting with you soon. In the meantime, please don't hesitate to reach us, utahavalanchecenter.org.
Craig, thank you again so much. Make sure that you go to utahavalanchecenter.org for all your information, and that way you know where it's safe to ride in the backcountry. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned. Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. One of my favorite things to do is give you some really fun recipes because I'm a terrible cook. I know that. My mother knows that. Everyone who knows me knows that. And so I like to find these very simple recipes that are really easy to make. And so today we're going to make Oreo truffles. This has been one of my favorite recipes since I was in high school. And people that I make them for, if you like rich and sweet and chocolate and cream cheese and all of the yumminess, Oreos included, well then this is something that you're going to like. So for my ingredients, all I have, and it's super simple, is I've got a package of Oreos, just one pack. Make it super easy for you to use, and that way it's nice and convenient. You just have to crush the one pack here in the food processor, and you're going to keep some of that to the side, and we'll go over that in just a moment. Then I've got my white chocolate chips as I'm going to melt these down, and I'm going to dip the Oreo truffles in them just to kind of give them almost more of a cake pop-like feeling. Then of course we've got one single thing of cream cheese. This is going to make it nice and easy. The worst part of it is having to mix the cream cheese. So to get started, what we're going to do is we're going to take the food processor, which if you don't have one of these, then you can get some anger out by putting your Oreos in a bag, smashing them up, and if you leave those little chunks in there, it's really good because then it gives it a little bit of a crunch. So I'm going to open my Oreos, and we're going to start to place them in the food processor. Now because I have a food processor and I'm a little bit cheating, it's going to make it nice and easy to just get that really fine, kind of like sand-like texture with the Oreos, and you just leave all the filling in there. Make it super convenient for yourself. The food processor was a money move. So Mom, if you're watching, thank you so much for this wonderful gift because it has helped me a lot in my baking endeavors. So we're just gonna turn this on for a second, get everything all nice and crushed in there. It's a little bit loud, sorry about that. You can see that it turns into that nice like powder texture. We're gonna keep going with this. We're gonna do all the Oreos. The entire pack of Oreos is gonna turn into this nice dust. And then we're gonna put some in this little cup to the side, and that's to garnish it after we put the white chocolate in there, because that's what's gonna make it super nice and delicious. So we're gonna just pulse it again. Get them nice and ground up. There's still a couple really big chunks in there, but we're just gonna keep adding more. Then we'll let it run for a second. I've let my cream cheese kind of warm up. That way it's nice and easy to like manipulate into the Oreo mixture that I'm gonna soon have once I get this all nice and ground up. All right, let's see. Yeah, that looks perfect. And like I said, those bigger chunks that are in there, oh man, it just does a little bit make a mess, but that's okay because everyone here expects nothing less than that from me. This is always my struggle too. Okay, we're gonna take this guy right off. Now we're gonna grab our nice little cup. We're just gonna take a little scoop of this and put it right over to the side because we're gonna need this later. Then we're gonna take our blade out and dump the rest of the Oreo mixture into the big bowl. And this is going to be where we're gonna mix everything together. I'm gonna drop this in the sink really quickly. Then we're gonna take our cream cheese that we have. Like I said, it's been sitting out for a minute, so it's a little bit warm, a little bit more malleable than it would be if you just freshly pulled it out of the refrigerator. We're gonna open this up. This is my least favorite part because if you've ever watched me cook in this kitchen, I absolutely hate when things get on my hands. And so this is like an act of love. These are a labor of love from me with the cream cheese. Drop the whole thing of cream cheese in there. You only need one of them because it's gonna make it super rich. And I'm gonna put my apron on for this because I'm gonna start to panic. And then when I start to panic, I'm gonna have to wipe my hands on something due to the fact that the texture thing really just like psychs me out a lot. So we're gonna mix this all together and you just like mash it right in there. Then once you have the mixture fully complete, this is the worst part. Once you have the mixture fully complete, then you are gonna let it sit in the refrigerator for a little while, harden up. You're gonna turn it into some nice little like cake pop like balls. And then after that, we're gonna dip them in some nice melted white chocolate. Then you're gonna freeze them again to just make it nice and cold. And that way they're melting. These are really good for like Thanksgiving or birthday parties or whatever. See, look at how disgusting this is. This is my least favorite part, like I said. Oh man. But once you get it all mixed in there, oh, this is so bad. It's like I can't. I'm trying to smile on my face, but it's not my favorite thing. I need to get taller. I should have worn heels. Get it all mixed in there, and then, like I said, you'll just let it cool down. Once it cools down, then we can turn it into the balls and just make our delicious Oreo truffles. And I have friends that will like ask me to make these for their Thanksgiving parties or if they're having like a housewarming party, because they're super easy. You can just grab them and go. I'm gonna continue to mix this, and then once I get this all nice and mixed together, we're gonna place this in the refrigerator. We're gonna take a short break. I'm gonna wash my hands, and then we're gonna come back and I'm gonna have to touch this all over again, so stay tuned. Now that we've done all of the steps, I've already pre-rolled, you know, TV magic, my dough into the nice little balls that it's gonna stay in. We're heating the chocolate up, and we've been doing it in intervals, continuously stirring it, that way it doesn't get burnt and or clumpy. So we're gonna pull this out of the microwave, see what consistency it's at now. Make sure it's nice, it's creamy, it's got the perfect consistency to pull those out, get them nice and dipped into the chocolate, and especially just because like we want this to be very easy to just maneuver those right in. So I left those in as long as I could, only because the thing with the cream cheese in there is they'll melt very, very quickly. So we're gonna pull these guys out of the freezer where I had them just to kind of cool down as much as I possibly could, because like I said, once that cream cheese gets in to the heat or it gets into the melted chocolate, it definitely starts to break down just a little bit. So having these nice and frozen helps, and then you just drop them in there, roll them around, super simple, get them nice and coated. Sometimes it's easier to use 2 spoons, sometimes it is not. Then drop them right back on to your parchment paper. Oh, I missed a spot on that one. And then with the Oreo that you kept, you're just gonna like nice and sprinkle that on there for the aesthetic factor of them. Sometimes I like to melt the dark chocolate too, and then that way I can just make it nice and easy and just drizzle the dark chocolate above the white chocolate, and then they look super fancy and like someone spent a lot of time on them. So you can see it's just super easy. Oh, I'm making a chocolate mess over here, but that is a-okay. And this is all it takes. It's super easy. Oh, that one doesn't look that pretty. I didn't realize that I missed that whole side where the spoon comes off. Sometimes it doesn't go as planned. You can see my shapes of my Oreo truffles are all different shapes and sizes though. I like to keep it sporadic just because sometimes I'm like, wow, I just want a little one. Then sometimes I'm like, I could eat my whole body weight in these. So I like to keep that guessing game basically going, but you can already see that even just for the few minutes that these have been out of the freezer, they're already starting to get a little bit soft, and when they get soft, they crumble, and then they make your white chocolate not as beautiful and white, but it's super easy to do, and they're delicious, and then they're cold, so you have a nice cold treat. You just continue to do this step until you're done, but you can also do things like I have a really good recipe for a homemade peanut butter glaze. It's super easy. You can just find it online. It's also like 3 ingredients. And once you make the peanut butter glaze, you could drizzle that on here and kind of make it more of a delicious like peanut butter Oreo truffle. It helps that the cutting board that I have this on with the parchment paper is nice and cold too, to just kind of keep them formed while I'm going through this. But once it starts to cool down, that chocolate gets hard, and then it has a nice little shell to it, so they've got a good crunch to them. They're absolutely to die for. But the other thing is you have to keep them cold when you're not eating them, or else they do just kind of totally disintegrate due to that cream cheese in there. Oh man, that has a lot of chocolate on it. All right, I'm gonna put this one right up front, but I'm gonna keep the side where the spoon comes off away. And then of course we're gonna drizzle it with, or sprinkle it, I should say, with some of the Oreo crumbs, and it's that simple. And you can see that the shell on these is already starting to get nice and hard, which just makes them so delicious, nice and tasty. I'm gonna make one of the camera guys come on here and eat one of these with me in just a second. You also have to watch out if you are someone who maybe like bites into them directly, that they don't get in your teeth if you're at a dinner party, because sometimes that happens, and then you've got nice Oreo in your teeth. But it's this simple. So the recipe, one more time, all you need is 1 package of regular Oreos, 1 thing of cream cheese, just an 8-ounce little box of cream cheese, and then whatever kind of chocolate you want to melt on them. Like I said, you can always do that milk chocolate with the white chocolate. You could go back and forth, you could dip half and half, whatever it is that you like, to just get these nice and delicious, and that makes it super simple. And then sometimes I like to do the nice drizzle over top of them with the other color of the chocolate, to just keep it kind of fun and a little bit unique. Oh look, that has a big chunk of Oreo. That's perfect. Okay, camera guy shook his head. He does not want to come on camera and eat these with me, but it's that simple. And then we're just gonna cut into this one. You can see that they're a little bit hard still, but just like that. Oops. Nice and delicious right there, and you can see what the contents of it is. It's totally like a truffle that you would buy in the store. These are super easy to make. Recipe, one more time, final time I say it. All you need is white chocolate, Oreos, cream cheese. That's all it's gonna take. Super simple. It takes about an hour because of the freezing, but other than that, they're amazing and they're so delicious.
This resort report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
thank you so much for tuning into this Saturday edition of Wasatch Weekends. We love getting to be here for you each and every weekend morning, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, starting at 7 a.m. to bring you all of the latest information about all of the wonderful activities taking place around our community. Make sure that you tune in tomorrow. We'll be here at 7 a.m. I've been your host, Maddie Evans, and I can't wait to see you then. Hey!